Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Vertigo Insights, decoding furniture, design, and well being. I am Trilochan Singh, and in today's episode, we are going to talk about the intersection between well being, spaces, and your design with none other than Pooja Jain, CEO and senior psychotherapist at Safe Stories Mental Wellbeing Pune. With a vast experience of over 9 years in the industry and with a rich academic background, I would like to introduce Pooja Jain and straight move to her and ask her about her journey. Hi, Pooja. Welcome.
Thank you, Trilochan. Thank you for having me here. And it's wonderful to talk about well being, design, and spaces, right? Yeah. So, with regards to my academic experience, I want to start with I did my master's in mental health psychology with specialization in counseling, working with parents and children and couples. I did that from TISS Mumbai. I did few certifications in global mental health, academic research from Helsinki and Barcelona. After that, I did another certification in narrative practices from Dulwich, Australia. And I think with regards to work, I've spent a lot of time on the field working with issues of gender, community mental health, child sexual abuse, mental health for young people in colleges. Over a period of time, after teaching, working in mental health space, we started Safe Stories. I believe that Safe Stories works with idea of mental health and making it simpler and accessible to people, organization, families, and individuals. So we have been in the space, but thank you so much for having me. I'm really excited for our conversation with intersection to mental health, well-being, and spaces.
How did you get into the commercial side of it, the corporate side of it?
It's very interesting, right? You know, when we talk about mental health, we usually think it needs to be एक कमरा होगा जहाँ एक थेरेपिस्ट बैठे होंगे आप जाकर उन्हें बताओगे आपके मन में क्या चल रहा
They'll
है
ask you questions.
yeah you're going to ask questions and naturally you feel that somebody is going to look at you and give you this life changing advice
Right.
but this is not exactly what mental health is. Just for example, you and me sitting together talking about these larger things that impacted your life, maybe your childhood or experiences that you had in school, maybe, or you know, the kind of teachers you had, the kind of people who were working with you. Similarly, when we talk about our work life, we spend majority of our time जब बड़े हो जाते हैं हम अपने वर्क प्लेस पे अपना टाइम स्पेंड करते हैं मे बी अराउंड गुड 8 to 9 hours. So people around us in our workplace, the kind of experiences we have with our managers, supervisors, the kind of work culture we are into impacts how we feel. Personal and professional separate. एक तो सबसे बड़ा how we work. We started working with corporates into 20 when one of our clients who worked with me in individual therapy, they went to their manager and said that, you know, things are becoming extremely tiring and difficult. He's experiencing high amount of burnout and he would prefer if they were able to talk about mental health in the larger workplace.
Right.
So that's how we knew that workplaces are definitely an area. And since then, we have been working with larger corporates and companies.
And I think COVID also gave this a big boost that where people actually started taking it very seriously, that there is something called as mental health and mental well-being, and that needs to be taken seriously in your workspace. So I think that was a very great time for you to start as well, and would have given you a good start considering you were working with children and started working with corporates. Did it make any difference, or the way you dealt with a child, was it different when you started giving therapy or talking to the corporate employees? Did it?
Absolutely. So we were always working with families, children, adolescents, couples. I think when we talk about B2C services or when clients are reaching out to us for mental health, I think one of the key change or differences there is more motivation, right? वो खुद चाहते हैं उन्होंने recognize कर लिया है कि something is not okay. जानकारी है that they need to go to a therapist and therapist is not necessarily their first resort. But when you work with corporates and companies and employees, it is slightly different. I think first job is to build that language, that culture. 500 flat hai. It is not going to be sufficient, but we know that there isn't a culture of physical change or fitness always. Similarly, in a corporate, there are counselors, there are EAP platforms, but not necessarily a culture where a manager is able to tell their team member that, you know, you seem to be really down and you seem to be making mistakes which you didn't do in the past.
Okay.
Is something up with you? Why don't you go and talk to someone? So the culture needs to be kind of built over a period of time, and that's the major difference when we work with corporates than individuals or families. Yeah.
And how's this journey been for you in the transition phase where from children to corporates? Did it make a big difference for you as a psychotherapist, or it was the same because again a person has that trauma since maybe childhood or over the years? So is it any different or it's the same thing? It's just the way you deal with it?
I'm going to to respond it in two ways, right? In a very therapist way, I think. One is it is different for the person, the practitioner who is working, right? When we work with mental health, I think what I tell my team, and I think my team also kind of aligns with this value, is we have to recognize the people that we're working with. It could be a school, a workplace, an organization, a college, or an individual family, right? They are the receiver and they are the center of the care that we are going to offer.
Right.
We want to believe that people know what is good in their life, right? So it is not necessarily different whether we work with a child, a family, or a corporate employee. We believe that people know what is, they've lived a life, they know what is good for them, and they go through challenges. They need a supportive care or a system that can help them to talk about their life in a simpler way, in a non-judgmental way, कि जहाँ वो अपनी दिल की बात किसी को बता सके.
That's very important because I
Absolutely.
think वो ही नहीं होता है where I can come and trust you that okay,
हाँ.
this is my deepest, darkest secret and I'm revealing it in front of you to you, and will it be safe?
Will it be
That's
safe?
very important because
Exactly.
वो trust बहुत important है, which is very difficult.
Yeah, so it does not necessarily change in that area. काम कर रहे हैं 1000 employees के साथ काम कर रहे हैं, but difference कहाँ आता है when we are reaching out to a corporate? The language is different, for example, the position of the mental health practitioner is going to be different because the company sees it as a supportive system that they are offering to their employee. तो अगर employer हैं तो उनके पास शायद पूरा अंडरस्टैंडिंग ना हो कि उनके एम्प्लॉयज को क्या जरूरत लगेगी, क्यों लगेगी, because their work is to run that company and make it profitable and of course make sure that the company or the organization is reaching its goals and mission and vision of the organization.
Right.
But to be able to look at employees, there are different departments, and that's why people set up people and culture department. HRs look at employee well-being, employee engagement. So the language, the terminology is very different, and hence organizations have an EAP platform, which they call as Employee Assistance Program, wherein mental health practitioners or platforms like us come into picture, wherein through a very seamless medium, employees can access counseling, psychosocial support, a culture-based support, yet also informing the company that we are able to also build something which will make your workplace emotionally resilient.
Right.
So our client is also the company and the organization, and also the employees as part of that organization, right? So that's the difference how we position in terms of language. But yes, as you said, when people reach out to us, irrespective of which company they are, which age group they are, which gender, caste, religion they are, I think it's more important for us to build that safe, supportive environment for them. And I think that's why Safe Stories does that. And I think that's why we say it's never different, whether a child, an employee, or a woman may be walking into our mental health space.
That's lovely. And also, you spoke about something as a platform. So, what do you mean by a platform? Do you have an online platform, or is it where you and your team visit the companies, or the employees are sent to your office? Like, how does that work?
Yeah, I think very important question. How does it work? How do we position mental health and employee well-being?
Yeah, because for me, and I think for a lot of people, mental health and therapy is something where we are, again, as you mentioned, go to a room, sit in it, speak to someone, and that's how it works. But considering you're working with corporates, they are not less than 1,000 employees, 500 employees. So, how do you manage that? You have that big team, or do you do it online? Do you have a platform like a website or something? So, can you please tell us about that?
Absolutely. So I think I'm going to respond it in two ways. One is again looking at our work with corporates at three levels. One is for the employee, teams, and organization. There are three levels of care that we build over a period of time. In terms of delivery of services or offerings, we do have a tech platform. Now, this platform is a mobile-friendly app-based web platform, which is wherein for example, you are the owner of the employee, owner of a company. What we expect is you sign up our services. First, we do an in-depth analysis of your workplace. For example, if you're a company with more Gen Z, young people, then the language of mental health needs to be different. Their challenges are going to be different. Their risk factors and protective factors are going to be different.
Understanding is different.
Understanding
the way
is different.
they look at life is different.
Absolutely. या अगर आपकी कंपनी में ज्यादा ऐसे मिडिल अडल्टहुड वाले लोग हैं जो अभी रिसेंटली पेरेंट्स बने हैं, right? They're into that parenting space, figuring out life, just got married or maybe building relationships. They have aging parents. Their stresses are going to be very different. So first we do an in-depth analysis of a company's needs. We have our tools, which are psychometric tools, which are designed, which are scientific behavioral tools, which will help us understand your company's strengths, needs, and what do your employees want rather than, so analysis hota hai. फिर डैशबोर्ड पे आपके एम्प्लॉयज ऑन दे लॉग इन एंड मेक अ प्रोफाइल एंड जस्ट लाइक ऑन एनी अदर ऐप, And they also do an internal assessment of their own universe. For example, your stressors. What helps you to solve your problems? What is your mindset? How do you look at your relationship with your manager or workplace? So we have simplified a lot of psychological deeper attributes to very simpler language. For example, we call it your inner universe. So they do an internal assessment also. और वो बहुत रेगुलर तरीके से वो क्वेश्चंस को रिस्पॉन्ड करते हैं दैट गिव their employees can book counseling sessions, can book one-on-one, sessions with the coaches, talk about their stressors in a personal, confidential manner. They can book an online session, they can book an in-person session, they can book. We also have a mental health help desk. There's a helpline number given to all the employees. So they can call that number and there will be professionals 24/7 in different languages,
Oh, wow.
including Hindi, Marathi, Marwadi, Gujarati, Malayalam, Tamil. We have people in French. So different languages therapists are available and they can, without necessarily giving a context, से हूँ, क्यों हूँ, कौन सी company से हूँ, they can actually talk about something which is bothering them right now, right? Mental health desk, there is an online platform. And we also, for certain companies, we set up these mental health desks in their workplaces. So certain companies want more tangible, visible mental health and employee well-being support. So companies have a lot of these well-being retreats, events, or development and training programs. So they integrate mental health and engagement as a part of their workshops or sessions that they organize for their teams. And I think that's where we really shine. For example, one of our regular stress management workshop will be
Paint your
booth.
booth.
तो
Okay.
हम सबके अंदर एक booth है, right? We are worried about these deeper worries, or we're really scared of certain, stressors in our life. And we set up that in a way that you come and look at internally what is something bothering you and you paint that out. And then a therapist will talk about your deeper worries, right? And now doing that with a larger set of 500 employees, it's always fun because one, team members learn from each other. They're able to talk about something extremely intense in a very easy, understandable format and also learn something from that. And corporates gain a lot of their employees credit points जहाँ पे
Right.
क्योंकि employees को लगता है कि now my employer really cares beyond who I am, beyond my designation, right? So these are some of the ways. Yes, there is a product, there is a tech platform which helps us offer that service. But I want to finish this answer by saying that we are a tech enabled platform, but we are a human led, mental health practitioners led organization. Yeah.
So, Pooja, in your view, where does India's corporate sector stand when it comes to mental health and things related to that?
I think it's still in the infant stage. I would rather say that. So the child is born.
Okay.
Yeah. We have given it a name that this is corporate mental health, this is corporate wellness. But we are still at the infant stage. One, because I think the entire conversation of mental health is still building up, I think, in our ecosystem and country and as a culture. There are two reasons to it, right? One is when we talk about mental health, there are so many misconceptions, right? कि exactly है क्या? Mental health ही क्या है? Forget be in corporates mental health क्या है? We are still figuring out mental health क्या है. Second, there are lack of systemic changes in workplaces also. ऐसी कोई company some sort of ground for workplaces to look at mental health or employee well-being as one of their larger goals. But nevertheless, I do want to kind of recognize that there are organizations, there are companies which are, of course, looking at HR and people as a larger part of their system, and they believe that people are important assets of their organization. And there are founders who are extremely progressive and not necessarily looking at just profits over in their entire space. They are looking at people as beyond their roles and building systems which are more long term. So if you look at statistically, as per reports, India is likely to lose $1.03 trillion due to poor mental health of employees.
Okay.
And 46% of people in private sector in India experience mild depression and anxiety. These are the statistics. So the need is there, definitely. And by 2030, depression is going to be the biggest epidemic of our country. So it is already happening. Even before COVID, it was happening. Every
Okay.
1 hour, one student dies by suicide in India. These are the ledger statistics, even by today. So दिक्कत हमेशा से थी, तकलीफें हैं, हमारे पास उसके लिए भाषा.
Okay.
So, if you go to any general hospital, how will you see a psychiatry department? And then on the top of that, we still see some Bollywood movies presenting mental health in such a dramatic, problematic way. So I think there's a larger question in place. So yes, we cannot necessarily isolate corporates, but corporates, yes, they are in the infant stage of talking about mental health. At least the organizations which value diversity, inclusion, people, culture, yes, there is a larger dialogue.
Yeah.
And So I don't want to deny the fact that yes, we are taking a moment and looking at what is West doing and bringing that in our culture. We are learning from them. We are taking up conversation on diversity and inclusion and mental health. And yes, the platforms are being formed and the conversation is happening.
So can you just give us an example where you and your company was onboarded by one of your clients, and what changes did you see before and after you got onboarded?
Great. Yeah, I think case studies are brilliant ways to
Yeah,
tell.
because I think that's a good way, and where people will also understand who are watching this, where they'll understand what exactly difference can be seen after companies like you and people like you when companies onboard them.
So I'm going to give an example of a very popular homegrown brand, FMCG, which we see in our daily households. I can't name the brand for confidentiality reason.
No problem.
But again, this brand, this company had predominantly blue collar staff members, and they had a headquarters here in Pune, but a lot of factory outlets where people were working, for the in the manufacturing space, right?
Right.
Now, if you look at usually when we think कि mental health तो IT companies में English speaking population के लिए भाषा, but now look at this company. They were going through a massive change because they were looking at scaling their operations. They were looking at onboarding younger staff members. They were looking at onboarding new staff members and scaling their operations across the country. Now, their HR recognized that there is resistance within the employees to any kind of change. Second, employees don't necessarily talk about what is happening in their mind. There's a lot of lack of trust within the management employees, and this constant conflict rise in just a lot of miscommunication, gossip, internal politics. लोग खुश नहीं है वहाँ पे. हम देख सकते हैं एक कंपनी में जहाँ पे हम काम करते हैं, हमें पता होता है कि लोग they called us and we started with a basic preliminary analysis. तो हमने because we knew that the staff will not necessarily even respond. And we knew कि अगर उन्हें हम एक सर्वे देंगे तो वो भरेंगे नहीं because they are resistant to any kind of conversation. कि closed हैं वो बात नहीं करना चाहते हैं. तो हमने पता लगाया उनके साथ बैठकर छोटे छोटे कॉन्वर्जेशंस कर कर ओवर चाय और ओवर जस्ट लंचेस एंड स्नैक्स वी रियलाइज दैट दे आर फीलिंग वेरी थ्रेटन्ड बाय दिस न्यू चेंज दैट द ऑर्गेनाइजेशन इज ब्रिंगिंग. 30 साल बताएं इस एंटिटी
Right.
एंड दे वर फीलिंग थ्रेटन्ड बाय दीज यंगर एम्प्लॉइज एंड दे डिडंट वांट टू. उनको हैंडओवर ही नहीं करना. दे आर नॉट रेडी फॉर इट.
And even machinery.
Even
They
machinery.
are very scared that the machines are going to take up their jobs, and what will they do? Definitely, a lot of people face that.
Bilkul, that built up a lot of insecurity, and that was showing up in anxiety, resistance, isolation, addiction, and also there was predominantly male population. We realized that the aggression was coming up, hostility, because men don't know necessarily how to express their emotions. Then we started kind of doing more chai pe charcha sessions, and we
Okay.
started using their own products that they were designing or building, sit with them and talk about mental health, talk about what is happening in their life, divided a program as per the age groups. So we ran conversations and workshops and sessions, mental health conversations, in all their factory outlets, including their headquarters. That
Okay.
was the first start. And that started bringing change that, okay, now they are ready to look up this brand and company beyond their identity.
Right.
That the company needs a larger change and bring that shift over a period of time.
Right.
Another part was we set up like a mental health counseling desk in Marathi. There were therapists from different they wore our company's t-shirt, so they were not threatened कि अच्छा कंपनी को ये डेटा मिल रहा है. We informed them कि आप जो बात करोगे वो confidential रखें and talk about what is really bothering them. So the company could see a shift in smoother processes happening. When younger people were joining the organization, they could see that there is more team cohesion, more easy understanding of processes. People were able to build trust with each other, build a sense of belonging with the organization. और हमने उनके बच्चों के लिए कुछ प्रोग्राम्स ऑर्गेनाइज कराए, जैसे गुरु पूर्णिमा के दिन पे उनकी फैमिलीज को बुलाया, क्योंकि इंसान को चाहिए recognition,
course.
right? People want to be seen. So we started setting up more culture-based initiatives in that company, and that's why I want to say mental health is not about depression, anxiety, and what you're feeling. It's about the environment that you're part of, how you're feeling, behaving, and thinking as a part of that environment, and are you able to reach your full potential? So mental health is not people when people are not feeling good. Mental health is actually how to bring that person to that highest potential. So that company was able to look at mental health as a system that enabled their growth in which direction they were heading.
Right. So did that also affect the production and everything else?
I always feel, मैं हमेशा एक चीज़ बोलती हूँ कि समझ लीजिए आप अगर जिम जाते हैं, अपना फिजिकल हेल्थ का ख्याल रखते हैं, क्या वो डायरेक्टली आपकी परफॉर्मेंस को इम्पैक्ट करेगा? क्वांटिफाई नहीं कर सकते. But will you feel better at your workplace?
100%.
Will you feel good about your body?
Definitely. I mean,
Right.
when you look at your pictures, that's what says it all, and that's why वो ही कुछ तो हुआ है body में
बिल्कुल
because of my working out and giving that 1 2 3 hours a day to doing the same activity over and over.
बिल्कुल
So my question was, because as companies, so you spoke about a big company, and India, we have so many SMEs, MSMEs, where they don't have that kind of funds, and they don't even have that bandwidth जहाँ पे वो employees के लिए. So to justify that, and so that जो services हैं that you and people like you are giving, वो सब ले सकें and everyone can avail those benefits for their employees, of course, we need to have something where we have something to measure. That's why I asked that, where did you see any change? And of course, when the management would have onboarded you, they also would have asked you this, that okay, we are spending XYZ amount with you and your company. What is it that we are going to get in return, and how will we measure it? So definitely, I think anything and everything that we buy or avail in terms of services, we want to see the end result. कि हमें, so that is very important. But yeah, if the production has increased and the mental health of their employees have
what shifted was the attrition. For example, majority of the workplaces will talk about attrition, right?
right,
So we look at the problem areas. तो mental health work ना हमेशा आपकी challenges को कम करेगा, आपको strength देगा to do what is already working for you. So for example, attrition better होगा, belongingness, trust better होगा, how people feel in the workplace, उनकी जो clerical errors है, for example, certain finance or investment banking companies that we work with, again these are high risk,
Yeah.
high stake jobs,
always
right?
always stressed.
They're always stressed, and we're able to coach them and build leadership programs, or create mindset programs where they're able to look at also their human, right? And they're able to figure out how to build a mindset where if they have made certain mistakes, they're able to get into a problem solving attitude rather than getting into a space of constant stress and worry, right? So it's it's a tricky space. I always say mental health can be quantified because we are looking at, for example, when you talk to someone, or when you're able to take care of yourself, there are certain chemicals that release in your brain that make you feel good. We call it the
Right.
love hormone, right? Or the cuddle hormone, oxytocin. It makes you feel good. When you listen to that Arijit Singh song, आप अचानक क्यों अच्छा फील करने लगते हो? क्योंकि ऐसा नहीं कि अरिजीत सिंह ने आपको अच्छा फील कराया, because your body secretes those hormones and you feel good. When you're able to work out, body releases dopamine and serotonin, right? You feel that sudden rush of energy, excitement. When you're able to achieve something, you have that tick mark.
Right.
It gives you that excitement that you achieved something in that moment, right? So human brain is trainable. The interesting part about human brain is it is plastic in nature. This exactly behavioral science needs to be applied in mental health in corporates or any mental health that work you do. Mental health needs to work for you. It needs to be exactly for you what you want, not a foreign idea of just sitting in a room and talking to a counselor with a cup of coffee, right? So that's what Safe Stories will do. Safe Stories quantifies, and that's where our dashboard comes into picture. It will give you how your employees are feeling after the counseling sessions, how they were feeling before the session, how they're looking at the organization, how they're looking at their problems in the organization. Managers report better problem solving within the teams. Managers report that teams are better functioning better now with each other, right? So these are all larger attributes which we find a way to quantify and submit. So we have extensive reporting system. We submit monthly, quarterly feedback and impact reports to organization. We also tell them what is not working. And I think we very well find out why it is not working.
Right. I mean, it is not that straightforward where you just have these steps, you follow it, and you get the results. It is
काश होता है यार, बड़ा मजा आता है फिर.
It's very subjective. Correct.
Yeah.
So now, Pooja, you've been dealing with a lot of companies and a lot of employees. So what are the most common overlooked mental health challenges that employees face at any workspace, be it a blue collar job or be it a management level job? What is it that you see and you've seen over the years that this is that one or two major problems that you see everywhere?
I think burnout, significant burnout, lack of emotional regulation. People experience bouts of anxiety. For example, frequent, urination or need to use the bathroom, or dry throat, or stammering while they're talking, or not being able to communicate their ideas, experiencing brain fog before a meeting. हम जब सब बताते थे एग्जाम के पहले हम ब्लैक, और that entire butterflies in your stomach. There are no butterflies in your stomach. Your brain is connected to the gut, and it is releasing more cortisol in the body, right? Cortisol is the stress hormone. So stress is universal. हम सब stress experience करते हैं. Anxiety, depression, burnout, lack of emotional regulation. These are all responses of the body. So these are the challenges I see in workplaces. But I think there's something significant that I've observed in the last couple of years is founders burnout.
Yeah.
So like entrepreneurs like you, or people who are running larger companies or in the management and leadership position, they have decision fatigue
Yeah.
because they're constantly making decisions about everyone and everything.
Yes.
They
Happens.
experience intense isolation. They experience a lot of difficulty in building trust and attachment with their parents, partners over a period of time. People talk about insomnia. They find it difficult to sleep at times. Addiction is a larger.
I can relate. I can
Addiction is
100% relate.
because we are also in a world, Trilochan, where again, as you said, everything needs to be quantified,
Yep.
measured, and everything needs to be great for some reason. We live in the world of toxic positivity कि हर किसी को सब अच्छा ही लगना चाहिए.
Has to be great since day one.
कैसे होगा?
I am comparing myself, our organization, to an organization that's been there for 100 years. And there are at times when I question myself that, yaar, tu kya kar raha hai? This is not right. You have just started. The company has been there for years. They've seen so many cycles where they have gone up, they've gone down, they've seen COVID, they've seen the 2008 crisis, they've seen so much, and you're comparing yourself to them and their success. It's not right, because again, at the end of the day, when I am making a decision, it's going to hamper that, and I won't make the right decision. And as you said, the founder burnout, that's also real, because again, for me, I often tell my friends and family and people that I start my day with my checklist of 10 tasks. I end up doing 20. But when I come back home and at the end of the day, when I check my checklist, the 10 that I had planned, they were still there. I've not checked them out. So then I question myself that मैंने पूरा दिन किया क्या? Like, I think I've done a lot of work, but technically I am still there where I started in the morning. But the 20 things, or whatever number tasks that I've done, those were important as well. They did actually make a difference to our organization, to the way we work. But yeah, I 100% relate to what you're saying.
And I meet founders and people in great leadership position. But I also see so much self doubt, right? As you said, so much constant feeling. I have not met people who can relax. What I'm trying to say these days, when I walk into these amazing offices, I see people not being able to relax. They're constantly either on their phone. मतलब वो नहीं, वो शांति से नहीं बैठ सकते. For their lunch, dinner, people taking their phones into their bathrooms, to their bedrooms. People are taking phones to their vacations, their emails. It's almost like we are not able to look at ourselves beyond our work.
Yeah.
That is one part. I also see another drastic heaviness in founders to make it happen too
Yeah.
quick, too soon, and then also at times question their own credibility, which we call as imposter syndrome, right? Ki, am I worth it? When they achieve something, they're not able to celebrate it. They are not able to go back home and really relax, put their feet on the table and say, yeah, I did this today. They're already there to the next task. This entire hustle culture, on Instagram, on social media, has made us believe कि ये सही है. हम सेल्फ केयर नहीं करते हैं, हम एक्सरसाइज नहीं करते हैं, हम सोते नहीं हैं, हम खाते नहीं हैं, हम बैठकर अपने घर वालों से बात नहीं करते. So the idea is founders burnout and all your employees, everyone is experiencing it at different levels. We see a 10 standard student experiencing that their world will collapse if they don't score a particular score.
Right.
To a parent who is like 56 figuring out how are they going to take care of their retirement and the children are still figuring out.
Right.
We cannot relax. We don't know how to take care of ourselves and people around us. And on top of that, Trilochan, I want to just highlight the last part. एक तो हमें अपना ख्याल नहीं रखना आता है, हसल कल्चर है, जैसे आपने बोला, वो चेकलिस्ट है, वो खत्म नहीं हो रही है चीजें. हमारे पास एक एम्पैथी, हम अपनी चीजों को देख ही नहीं पा रहे हैं. वी आल्सो लिव इन अ वर्ल्ड विद जज पीपल टू टेक अ ब्रेक. अच्छा तुम आज जल्दी जा रहे हो, अच्छा तुम जल्दी घर जाते हो, अच्छा तुम योगा हमारे पास वी आर इन अ वेरी ट्रिकी स्पेस. हमको समझ ही नहीं आ रहा है अब कैसे करना है, हाउ टू टेक केयर ऑफ आवरसेल्व्स. And I think that's where companies and conversations and larger, like this conversation that we're having today here, I think for me that this is mental health. For me to really break it down to you and tell you that we can take a break and we're humans is mental health. It necessarily does not need to be any form of therapy, right?
So you spoke about founders and MSMEs and SMEs where they're always they have limited funds, they always have some or the other thing which is more important than this. How can these organizations focus on mental health for their employees, or as small as maybe a 2-member team or a 5-member team, so how can they focus on this? Because as you mentioned that you have a dashboard and you work a certain way, and of course that comes with a cost. It's not going to be free. And where a company is struggling, or not struggling, but just they have other things to look at and look forward to, and to allocate their budgets to, how can they work on this, and how can they help their employees and themselves to be in a better space and make better decisions, and help their companies grow.
I think I'm going to start with. I always say this to any founder, irrespective of what funds they have. Start where you are. You know, if you don't have the funds, you don't have to necessarily bring a mental health partner. Mental health is a conversation to start with. Build that culture. Have these town hall meetings with your employees, partners, business associates. Look at and talk about your vulnerability at times. That yes, you do struggle at times, and I'm sure all of us have our personal struggles. Does not necessarily mean that you have to only talk about that. You can talk about what helped you, right? Normalize talking about difficult experiences in life. कि ये होता है. One, it really takes the entire stigma out of it. And you're able to gauge when your team is going to experience something, they know that they can talk to this person and they will not be judged.
Right.
So इसका कोई cost नहीं. I think also looking at sometimes, for example, there are smaller companies, CA firms, finance companies, which are like very small companies, 20 to 50 employees, and they are they're doing some concentrated work. And I also feel उनके stressors अलग होते हैं. So at least have a conversation once in a quarter where all of us have these company retreats. अगर कराते हो, you organize some kind of fun thing for them. That's a great space. So you start with that, if not necessarily a mental health session. आपका जो team building session हो रहा है, वहाँ पे सब बैठ कर talk about that one moment, and discuss it with your team members. Allow them to discuss things. There are few helplines that are available through Lochan in India, right? जो free helplines हैं, okay, जो अच्छे therapists, अच्छे NGOs, अच्छे organizations चला रहे हैं. आप उनके बारे में जानकारी दे सकते हो. You can put them out in the organization. You can put that poster out. These are the spaces that you can reach out to. This is Kiran ek helpline. It's a government helpline in our country, which is again in multiple languages across, and it is confidential. It is a free helpline, right? You can set up. हर company में जैसे posh compliance होता है, तो उन्हीं के साथ at least एक mental health related conversation करो. Bring out a therapist, and ask them. कुछ recorded webinars available होते हैं. कुछ जैसे हम जैसे लोग हैं, हम काफी सारा content बना के रखते हैं. Ask them to share some of their content. And trust me, I have seen mental health practitioners doing it just because they can give that information. कि आप आइए, I'll give that information to you. Tools available है, handbooks available हैं, Google पे काफी सारा resource available है. I think first is the culture, first is the mindset that I can talk about it and it's not something absolutely alien. And it needs to be absolutely expensive. It is just a lot to do with conversation. But yes, smaller companies, on the other hand, can also look at, they all have this employee well-being or employee engagement fund, right? जो थोड़ा सा आप retreats के insurance जैसे हम अपने employees के लिए देते हैं, medical aims देते हैं, medical claims देते हैं. So that is also a good start. That is also mental health work. Right. If you are not doing that, start there. And then maybe slowly you'll reach up on the hierarchy and talk about emotions and mental health. These are some of the things I would tell to the founders, that start having that conversation with people. It does not make you look weak at all.
I mean, I think that's the main thing, where founders feel that if I talk about my problems, my issues, and if I show that, I am struggling with something, it is going to look weak in front of my employees, and they'll feel that I am weak, and they won't really have that conviction in my leadership. And maybe, as any which ways we are struggling with anxiety, and then this will be an add-on where I feel that, okay, maybe this employee is going to leave me, or they're going to join some other company or something like that. So that is, I think the founder has to start first and make that change first, and then that is when we can move forward.
We shame vulnerability, we shame people seeking support or help. I think we shame mostly all the right things in our culture. There's a beautiful book by Brené Brown, and it's called Dare to Lead. It's one of the leadership books, actually. And Brené Brown, as an author, talks about vulnerability, the courage of vulnerability, and what larger impact it can bring on people. The power of vulnerability. There's a beautiful TED Talk, which I invite again for everyone to listen to. And that really opens a lot of space for these conversations, which are not necessarily normalized in our culture.
So now I would want to talk about something that interests me more and is of, interest to my organization. How does a physical space, like, lighting and furniture and the design of the space, your office space, how does that impact productivity and, the mental well-being of an employee? Does that has that kind of impact, or it's just a myth?
No, I think it's indeed one of the very important factors in offices or workplaces, or I think rather any physical space, right? I'm going to start with just positioning of humans. Imagine that there's a space and you're positioning humans there. अगर आपने space नहीं, you're taking away a scope of regular eye contact that humans are wired to make, right? That is one part. Another, observe or imagine people being left out, with really closed cabins. They cannot see through each other, or we are not creating spaces which are more transparent, has a lot of glass work or plants, वेरी क्लोज्ड स्पेसेस जहाँ पे फर्नीचर इस तरह से डिजाइन किया गया है कि आप दूसरे ह्यूमन के साथ इंटरेक्ट नहीं कर सकते, आप मशीन्स के साथ ही बेटर इंटरेक्ट कर सकते हो. यू गोना लुक एट द कंप्यूटर ओनली, right? Like how we see in BPOs. Now imagine that you're doing for 24 days of your month, 8 hours in a day. How isolating that experience is, how your
Right.
body is going to feel, right? So space, physical space, furniture, lighting, positioning of people in a workplace does create a large impact on how you feel throughout the day, rather, not just, in that moment when you're working. So it's significantly, we talk about agronomics, right? The entire space of designing things which are suitable for functionality, to improve functionality in a certain way. From the pilot's cockpit, that things are designed in a particular way because they need that movement in a particular direction. Similarly, in different workplaces, we should look at furniture from a point of view, one, how it improves functionality of that employee or that person in that moment. Second, how is that person going to interact with other people or setting in the environment?
Right.
क्योंकि आप लोगों के साथ काम कर रहे हो, आपका फर्नीचर अलाउ करना चाहिए. For example, if you keep a huge table between your employees and you, it indicates power, right? It
Right.
indicates that you and I are different and separated. But if we keep like an L-shaped space, it becomes more informal, more warm, and creates that conversation more easy in that
Right.
moment. Having spaces where people can work as team, as and furniture which is light and can be moved, always invites that you can make space for new things in the room. I always say that you cannot move things. It looks classy and maybe really fancy, but people are going for light furniture, and I'll need your inputs here, which can move. You can move things around in the office because there's more flexibility. A boardroom can have 20 people at the same time.
That's where the whole modular furniture has come into
Absolutely.
the picture, where earlier, like today also, when we visit our client offices which were made like 20 years back, it just looks so heavy, and they have this thing where they cannot really do anything with it because it is so heavy and it's stuck, it's nailed to the wall, that they really can't do anything. So now even offices where they don't really need to upgrade, the furniture is just fine, even though it's been done like 10, 15, 20 years back, still they are changing, still they are moving to the whole modular furniture setup. That's very important, I think, now, because in terms of design, in terms of the way, the angle that you look at the screen also, it's very important. Because the other day we had one of our podcasts with Dr. Garima, and where she also spoke about this, where the angle that you're sitting in, the strain that you're that the computer, the laptop is putting on your eyes, just because you're not looking at it the correct way. So these things definitely make a difference, where and the offices, the companies are actually changing this, where they are moving forward with moving ahead with new designs, and they want to make that change, where again it is going to cost them, but they are doing that. So
Because they have to see people beyond their designations, right? So when you call a person who's at your front desk taking calls in at a call center, they're not just taking calls, they are actually the face of your organization in
right.
that virtual platform. And if you give them a space where they can breathe, sometimes stretch themselves a little bit, have a glass of water, take a walk maybe and come back, meet their other peers, that is just going to give them more learning and space to become better, rather keeping them in a closed cubicle where they can't even make eye contact. That's really difficult.
And that's why the trendy adjustable height table has also come into the picture, where you can stand and work, and that's why it's becoming one of the major go-to furniture that offices are considering. Even though not the whole setup, still they are at least planning to have maybe of some percentage of the total setup, where at least if it's 100 employee company, they have maybe 20 such desks where their employees can go and stand and work, where they can adjust
Absolutely.
and sit accordingly, or maybe stand however they want, so that it's not stressing them out in terms of the work that they are doing. It's really important.
I'm going to just put it out loud again, maybe controversial. You know, when companies or workplaces or people do their offices, I know there are a lot of things that they spend money on, right? And these days we see walls and carpets and, you know, lighting and everything. One of the things that I feel they'll get the most benefit is bathrooms and furniture.
Bathrooms.
Yeah, because the number of bathrooms, how that person can use that space, how beautifully they're designed, like the personal spaces, bathrooms, canteen, जहाँ पे लोग ज़्यादा समय spend करेंगे.
Right.
ठीक है, आपने बहुत सुंदर विंडो बनाया है जो बहुत सुंदर, you know, वहाँ, but the person is sitting on that chair 8 hours every day.
Has to be comfortable.
Absolutely. So your non-negotiables are furniture and spaces that people use for their personal things, you know, like the canteen or where they're eating, they're meeting for the other people, the bathrooms that they're accessing. They're extremely important. So to all the founders and people, I think spend, you know, that certain amount of money on their comfort, on the furniture, because that's what they're using and they're constantly working with. So help them actually help work them better.
100%. And for me, I always tell this to my clients as well, that please spend on furniture, and rather than getting a bad furniture like a bad chair or a bad table or the whole furniture for that matter, spend a little bit on that, because eventually you will need it. You're spending less, you're just trying to have some cost cutting there and kam kharcha kar rahe ho, but there is a very small difference between a good set of furniture and a bad set of furniture. So just spend that, because you're not understanding that tomorrow if something goes wrong with your chair, if it breaks down, it is really difficult to throw it away. But just spend a little bit more and get a good one where you can use it for longer time, and your employees are also happy. So that makes a very big difference. So that was one of my questions, where I thought I'll ask you whether it's actually making a difference in a person's mental health as well. Because productivity wise, yes, we've seen that it definitely makes a difference. Otherwise, I'm sure the multinationals wouldn't be spending on it. But mental health wise, I didn't know that it will.
Makes a
definitely
huge
make.
difference. Indeed, there are enough researchers, you know, that talk about this use of space, color, light, furniture, things that they can use. Human beings are really impacted by their environment. You know, as simple as just eye contact or accessibility, proximity to other human beings, spaces to socialize, spaces to meet other people. If your furniture is not designed for human beings, it is just designed for robots and machines, it's not going to really help. So your office is for the people, so make sure your furniture is also for the people.
So we spoke about where companies are doing these things, where they have consultants and all, and but at the end the employees need to go and talk to them. So what are the basic things that are missing out, where the employees are still disengaged, they are burnt out, they're struggling to open up, and why do you think even after having these services there are still these issues in the same company? And what are the myths or maybe missteps that these companies, or maybe the other company that they are onboarding for this service, are missing out on or not doing correctly, that even after having them on board the employees are feeling a certain way?
I think two larger problems in this entire space is one is to one solution fits all, right? Believing that app banaya, app de diya.
Right.
So again, as I said, you know, having that gym in your society does not mean or does not ensure that everyone will be going to the gym and working out. It has been never the case. So it always boils down to the culture of the organization. It always boils down to the important stakeholders in the organization, your key managers, people in the managerial and leadership positions, people in influential positions, talking about that we have a service, we have partnered with certain platform to take care of our mental health and emotional well-being, and we must find ways to reach out to them, not because we are not weak, we are weak or we are not taking care of themselves, but because we need to get better. We all deserve a space to talk about and figure out ways in our own head at times. We all need times to unwind. So there's lack of culture and we believe that one solution fits all. कि अगर एक FMCG कंपनी है उसमें भी सेम सर्विसेज देंगे, सेम वर्कशॉप, वही स्ट्रेस मैनेजमेंट, चार चीज़ें लाके IT कंपनी में भी वही दे दिया, फाइनेंस रिलेटेड कंपनी में भी वही दे दिया, आपकी कंपनी में भी मैंने वही दे दिया, it is likely to fail. I have to look at that people are different, their challenges are different, and people know sometimes what will work for them. So we have to ask, we have to create systems where we figure out what is working for them. So one solution fits all will never work. If there is no culture in the organization or language, हमने अगर उस पर काम नहीं किया है तो predominantly वहाँ पे उस product पे या app पे या उस service पे engagement बहुत low रहेगा, and this is what Companies constantly complain about their EAP platforms, poor engagement. एक एम्प्लॉय वेलबींग प्रोग्राम है बट एम्प्लॉयज आ ही नहीं रहे, आना ही नहीं चाहते हैं बिकॉज आपने अच्छे से उसके बारे में बात ही नहीं की है. आपने रख दिया है संडे को जो छुट्टी, और यू आर आस्किंग देम टू वेट आफ्टर ऑफिस आवर्स. आफ्टर 7 o'clock, प्लीज वेट, वी वांट टू टॉक अबाउट योर
Happens
एम्प्लॉयज
a
मेंटल
lot.
हेल्थ. They don't want to. Don't make it punishment. Don't create like a big thing that we are giving it to you. Integrate it in your culture. Talk about it that they deserve it. It's their right to claim it.
This is at least something which is not in the company, or not working for the employees directly. I've seen companies, I wouldn't name anyone, but where they are having the town halls, the company meetings after the work day. Why? Because this is something extra. You're not This is not, this is not between the work hours. That has to be extra. And I'm like, why? That's just so stupid that you're having town halls after working hours, like 9 to 7, 9 to 6 is your working hour, like working hours, sorry. So 9 to 6 is your working time, but the town hall starts at 7 and goes up to 9. So it's just so weird that even employees are giving up to this particular way of having these town halls, and it's not making any sense. And the employers also need to think about it, that you cannot just have these tactics where you're making them work extra, because eventually they are going to leave, and eventually your company is going to shut down because there is no productivity.
आप किसी को एक्स्ट्रा काम नहीं करा सकते हो. वो इंसान ढूंढ लेगा कहाँ से
हाँ.
उसको वापस अपना टाइम निकालना है इन द नेक्स्ट डे. लॉन्गर चाय ब्रेक, लॉन्गर लंच ब्रेक विल हैपन, you know.
Right.
Second, the problem, Lochan, I have realized is HRs or people who are in charge of organizing these activities think of it as think of it them in a linear position, mental health का, and they expect a larger shift.
हाँ.
और ये तो तुम्हारे लिए तो साइकोलॉजिस्ट भी बुला लिया, अब तो काम करो. व्हाट इज दिस प्रॉब्लमैटिक लैंग्वेज? आई थिंक इट कम्स फ्रॉम आवर बचपन से. like I have seen parents doing, see, you have brought us to a psychologist office now,
Yeah.
अब तो तुम मार्क्स ले आना. अरे, it is, don't make them feel shameful about taking help.
Right.
Why are we creating this entire space of punishment?
Yeah.
That I have to give this to you, or I had to do this for you in order for you to make any difference in your working space. I think we need to look at it in an affirmative way, that we do this because it gives us larger impacts. Change in language, change in decision makers' attitude, change in how we look at mental health conversations in a larger scape, and not making one solution fits all.
Right.
अगर हम वहां से करेंगे ये larger, you are actually not doing it. I would rather tell you to not do it.
And also it's not a one time activity कि एक बार हो गया. वही जिम वाली बात हो गई, एक दिन जिम चले गए and you cannot expect to have six packs.
Exactly.
कि मुझे
कैसे?
abs आ जाए, एक दिन मैं अभी जिम चला गया या चली गई तो अभी मैं फिट हो जाऊंगी.
और उसमें भी देखो तुम्हें जिम ले जाना पड़ा. मतलब ये पनिशमेंट नहीं है ना. मतलब you have to do it for yourself, and you have to build that culture.
जैसे I mentioned the town hall thing, the employers are doing it. तुम वर्किंग आवर्स के बाद कैसे उसको रख रहे हो, ये बोल के कि ये तो एक्स्ट्रा है, ये तुम्हारे वर्क डे के बीच में नहीं आता, ये तो एक्स्ट्रा होता है हर्डल या टाउन हॉल या जो भी है. यू डोंट हैव इट. आई मीन, आई डोंट थिंक एम्प्लॉइज आर गोइंग टू मिस आउट ऑन एनीथिंग इफ यू डोंट हैव इट. तो वो मेक्स नो सेंस टू हैव इट वेयर द एम्प्लॉयर is enforcing it on the employees, and the employees don't even care.
Absolutely.
उसका फायदा ही नहीं है. अगर आप अभी बोल रहे हो और मैं सुन ही नहीं रहा, तो आप किसके लिए बोल रहे
और पता है एक चीज सबसे आसान, which I want to kind of add, what companies can do. समझ लीजिए कि ये तो तरीके से वो गलत कर रहे हैं अपने वेलबींग प्रोग्राम्स को. आई थिंक एक चीज वो मिस कर रहे हैं is that their company is made of people who have lived their lives. People are wise.
Right.
People know a lot of things about themselves. कुछ managers होंगे, कुछ लोग होंगे जो marathons run. People have certain attributes beyond their work skills and
Right.
roles. Identify these well-being champions within your organization. Make the program run through them. I always believe make it sustainable for the people, by the people of your organization.
Correct.
कोई बाहर से आकर हमेशा सिखाएगा, एक isolated experience रहेगा. But if you recognize people of your own company for taking and supporting other people, the empathetic leaders on your leadership team, empathetic managers who went a little extra and who have the language to talk about emotions, stress, encourage them, recognize them, and make them well-being champions. And you will find people in your organization like us who will talk about mental health and actually make it easier for you.
So, Pooja, to conclude this, can you give us few small but powerful tips that can help employers to inculcate in their day-to-day activities for their employees, where they can do certain things that will help them be more productive until they reach a point where they can onboard an organization like yours?
I think first is start where you are. I'm going to repeat that because there are conversations that you can have as founders. So sit with your team and start talking about mental health, conversations, well-being. Another one could be putting out resources, helplines that are available, free resources, free workbooks, just tips to figure out your mental health. There are a lot of resources available, and I can give a few right now, maybe in the next few minutes. Put them out in your organization, put them visibly out, make these posters, send that email as a founder that I tried this breathing technique and really felt relaxed in the morning. I hope all of you will also do. All of us have internal communication channels, WhatsApp group se lekar certain systems conversation on just someone writing and sharing what helped them take care of themselves. So communications and language building and culture building will certainly go the longest way in make any company emotionally resilient. Another part is building resources, as I said. The third significant shift could be identifying well-being champions within your workplace. It could be the founder, it could be a certain manager, it could be your office boy, it could be the didi who comes and helps you make chai. There are things that they are doing to take care of themselves. There are things that they can do for other people in the workplace. Help them understand that people can go through difficult times. How can we listen empathetically, not judge people? Just giving them basic skills on listening to other people, right? Goes a long way in building that emotionally resilient workplace. And there are people who are doing really well. Sometimes there are people who are running marathons, taking listening or are volunteering at certain organizations and NGOs. Recognize these people beyond their work roles. People want to be seen and recognized. So recognize people beyond their ID card. I always say, do an exercise. Who are you beyond your designation? Yeah. So help them do that and identify well-being champions within your team. It makes it more sustainable, doable. So next time when you have a third partner like us to do mental health in your workplace, ऑलरेडी लोगों के पास एक कॉन्वर्जेशन होगा, स्पेस होगा टू बिल्ड इट. तो आप उस जो आप इन्वेस्ट कर रहे हैं जो अमाउंट को बेटर मैक्सिमाइज कैपिटलाइज कर सकते हैं कि नाउ माई एम्प्लॉयज विल एक्चुअली सीक हेल्प. तो वो जिम सिर्फ खाली नहीं रहेगा, वहाँ लोग जाएंगे, right? And I think just the HRs, or if there are people taking these decisions in your organization, make them slightly, जैसे हर बर्थडे केक कट करते हैं हम एम्प्लॉयज का, make these things that you're already doing slightly more meaningful, so add just another well-being conversation or a conversation around success, failures, vulnerability, family. Get to know their families better. The things that you're already doing, make them slightly more meaningful, make them more human, make them more employee centric, and you'll realize that people are looking forward to that cake cutting. It's not because kaun sa cake mangwaya hai. So the conversation centers around kitne cake aayenge, but what if we could have that birthday celebration in a different and more meaningful way? Everyone writes one thing about this one person that makes us feel good in the organization, right? So I think feelings don't need to be outsourced. We can find ways to talk about them. We need to build that culture. So if companies start doing that and partner with organizations like us, mental health professionals like us, where we can make it more meaningful, scientifically more valid, behaviorally science backed for them, so that we know that we are taking the mental health that actually works for them. And they are able to take mental health back to their homes on their dining table conversation with their children and parents, maybe. And that's the hope, right? It does not necessarily stop in that boardroom or conference room. They're able to walk back to their home feeling slightly more human, slightly more seen and valued by their employer, and are able to go back to their home and give that back to their families. So this is where mental health will really work, where we make it more human.
So this was Pooja Jain talking about well-being at workspace and how even furniture can make a difference to your mental health. I hope you all like it and stay tuned. Thank you.